This is the legacy of Cécile Fatima, the forgotten Haitian heroine who was a revolutionary voodoo priestess and whose invocation of the Petro rite of voodoo ceremony ignited the Haitian Revolution of 1791. Fatima's role in the Haitian Revolution remains one of defiance and empowerment, as she has been credited with having provided superhuman courage to the revolutionaries. What's more, her meticulous plotting of the Haitian Revolution led to the abolition of slavery in the French colonies of Saint-Domingue, later renamed as Haiti. The Petro rite of voodoo ceremony she performed in preparation for the struggle united enslaved Africans, paving way for Haiti's 1804 independence and the abolition of slavery in the French colonies. But before we discuss the Haitian Revolution of 1791, let us first examine the life story of this heroine. Cécile Fatima was born in 1733 in Saint-Domingue, now known as the Republic of Haiti. She was born a mulatto to an enslaved African mother and a European father. Historians believe that Cécile's father was the son of King Theodore of Corsica and that her birth name was Hatiman. Moreover, she had two brothers who disappeared after they were separated from their family and sold to slavery. She grew up in the religion of Haitian voodoo with its invocation of the Marasa Jamo, the divine twin spirits worshipped as deities, becoming a mambo or a voodoo priestess in the service of Marasa Jamo. Cécile Fatima lived her early life in slavery before being drawn to the Enlightenment ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, along with the spiritual values of Haitian voodoo, which shaped her desire to end the institution of slavery in Haiti. Now that we have uncovered the background of Cécile Fatima, let us discuss the Haitian Revolution. At the height of the transatlantic slave trade, over 800,000 Africans were transported from Central and West Africa to the island of Hispaniola, which was divided into two colonies, the Spanish Santo Domingo to the east and the French Saint-Domingue to the west. The French colony of Saint-Domingue was the wealthiest slave colony in the Northern Hemisphere between the years of 1500 and 1800. The prosperity of Saint-Domingue was built on forced labor of enslaved Africans who produced sugar, coffee, cotton, and indigo for export. The slave system on the island of Hispaniola thrived on extreme brutality, exploitation, and dehumanization, treating black labor as expendable. As a result, the life of the enslaved was short and harsh because of being overworked, constant beatings and malnutrition was rampant, and therefore death rates were so high that new slaves were constantly imported. Furthermore, corpses of the enslaved Africans often lay unburied, and the life expectancy on the plantation rarely exceeded 7 years. And it is at this point in time, as the resentment of the slaves grew all over Saint-Domingue, that Cécile Fatima was provoked to ignite the fire of the revolution. Due to her desire to end the institution of slavery in Haiti, Cécile Fatima held the Petro rite of voodoo ceremony on the 14th of August 1791 at Bois Caiman site in the northern forest of Saint-Domingue, where she incited enslaved people to rise up against slavery, an event that marked the beginning of the Haitian Revolution. History has it that on this particular night, in the middle of a violent thunderstorm, Cécile Fatima, the voodoo priestess, sacrificed a black pig and invoked the ancestral spirits in order to strengthen the enslaved Africans, preparing them for the revolution. About 200 enslaved Africans from nearby plantations heeded the call by the voodoo priestess and gathered together in order to participate in the Petro rite ceremony in the revolt against slavery. On that stormy night, Cécile Fatima, the voodoo priestess, did sacrifice a black pig in an invocation to the gods, whereby their attendees then drank the pig's blood and thereafter swore an oath to fight their oppressors. While performing the Petro rite of voodoo ceremony, Cécile Fatima was said to have been possessed by one of the Ezili voodoo deities of love. She then appointed Dirty Bookman, a Jamaican voodoo priest, to be the commander-in-chief of the slave rebellion, and at her direction, the Bois Caiman attendees dropped to their knees and swore to obey his orders. Cécile Fatima sustained the revolution by creating herbal concoctions to poison the enemy forces. 1 week later, on the 21st of August 1791, she organized another ritual ceremony and called for vengeance, where the slaves struck back under her leadership. As the revolt spread across the island, Toussaint Louverture, a Haitian general in the revolution, seized control of Leuca, the capital of Saint-Domingue. At the peak of the revolution, on the 4th of January 1794, delegates from Saint-Domingue arrived in the French National Assembly with a former slave by the name of Jean-Baptiste Belly in order to secure an anti-slavery decree in Paris. It was Jean-Baptiste Belly who demanded the abolition of slavery, and with the support of the French Surgeon and Convention Deputy René Lavesseur, a motion on abolishing slavery was passed. In 1804, the French colony of Saint-Domingue became the first free black slave state to achieve independence and was later renamed as the Republic of Haiti. However, fearing similar uprisings among enslaved populations, the then United States President Thomas Jefferson, with the support of the Western nations, refused to recognize Haiti's independence. And in retaliation, they imposed trade embargoes, denying Haiti the supplies it needed to rebuild. Over time, they deliberately obscured from mainstream the history of Cécile Fatiman and her legacy as the voodoo priestess, whose petrol rite of voodoo ritual sparked the Haitian Revolution. But history never forgets. As a matter of fact, during the revolution, Cécile Fatiman and other Mambos were credited with having provided superhuman courage to the revolutionaries. Cécile Fatiman, amidst other freed slaves, eventually obtained her freedom following the 1794 anti-slavery decree. At the establishment of the Kingdom of Haiti, Fatiman married Jean-Louis Pierrot, a general in the armed forces of Haiti and a prince under the monarchical regime. Together, the couple had a girl child by the name of Marie-Louise Amelia Celestine, but they later divorced. Fatiman lived in Loca, the capital of the French colony of Saint-Domingue, for the rest of her life, through which she kept in good health up until 1845, when she passed on due to natural causes at the age of 112 years. Amen.